friends, welcome back to Fantasy Awash. Today we are going to be recapping episode 4 of season 2 of The Wheel of Time from Amazon Prime, and this will not contain book spoilers. It will kind of just be a summary as to everything that happened in the episode. Let's jump in. The episode starts with Ishmael going to this place, and if you pause it on the Amazon app or on your television, it actually tells you location-wise where you are. So this is Kyrain, so this is where Rand has been for the last little while. It appears that Ishmael is trying to break a ceiling that is similar to what he was released from at the end of episode 1. And in this scenario, we see that there is a new character, and it is a very bloody female character. This is kind of the show's Carrie moment, I suppose. To a character that we saw from the last episode, Anvir, and she was speaking to Rand at the dinner party. However, we realize very quickly into this episode that she is actually the sister of Moiraine. She is in fact the younger sister. So this is kind of playing into what they've been saying this season, that using the one power can significantly slow down the aging process. And it clearly has for Moiraine and Liandrin from what we saw from last episode, and that Liandrin has a son, or from 2 episodes ago. And it's an interesting dynamic that they've established for Moiraine here. Moraine's character has changed dramatically, it feels like, from season 1 to season 2. In season 1, she was still cold, but she was more amiable. And in season 2, she's just downright terrible to people. So not really loving what they're doing with Moraine's character at this point. Rand is trying to fix the damage that he did to Celene's inn, and back in Tar Valon, we see that Nynaeve is really struggling to cope with the reality of her test and what that meant, but we can see that she's been upgraded to a new suite because she is now an accepted. She's no longer a novice and is in the accepted outfit, which has the colors of the Aja on the sleeves. Egwene is trying to be sympathetic to her and understand what's going on, but of course Nynaeve isn't really here for any of that. We see Alana's family, which kind of juxtaposes the familial relationship that Moiraine is having with her family. It's much more enjoyable, honestly. People seem to be happy with each other, and we see that Lan has kind of settled into this new world of his. Alana is telling him that they are going to be going back to the White Tower, and that Nynaeve is going through the arches and will probably need a warder of herself soon, so he could rebond with someone. So this is something that they're trying to tell to the audience, that just because you've been bonded once doesn't mean that you can't bond again, but Lan's kind of unsure about that. Moiraine is now in Kyrain, as we saw with her going to her celestial home, her family home, and we have her talking with Logain, and she wants Logain to teach Rand everything there is for men to know about using the one power, because as Moiraine said from season 1, she simply can't show Rand how to use the one power. It's beyond her scope because she's a woman and they touch different parts of the source. So she is offering the tantalizing temptation of suicide to Logain in order for him to help him. But often for people that are broken off from the source, as we understand, living can be quite difficult. So it seems that this is an offer that Logain could potentially want to take her up on and no longer want to live. But back at the White Tower, we see that Egwene and Elaine are continuing to bond, and that's really good. Liandrin, however, is continuing to push boundaries and kind of encroach upon people, and she's doing that with Leanne, who is the voice of the Amyrlin Seat when the Amyrlin Seat is not in Tar Valon any longer. We have Perrin's visions that are somewhat starting to be explained to him now via Elias. He's told that he is a wolf brother, so we finally have a title for what Perrin is, and we understand that the visions are something that is being sent from the wolves to kind of keep everyone in the pack in the know, so that will hopefully be explained a little bit more. And we see that the main wolf that was helping Perrin is a wolf named Hopper, and that Hopper chose to reveal his name to Perrin, so that's a big deal. Lan is still kind of hyper-focusing on this letter or note that he stole from Moiraine, and that will probably come back into further play. We also then learn even more about the bonds between Aes Sedai and the Warders, and that you can partially block your bond, or you can sometimes block it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be gone forever, which is what one of Alana's Warders is telling Lan. We spend a lot of time on the bond in this episode. It's a bit too much in my opinion. Moiraine is trying to get as much information as she can about Rand and Kyrain, and Rand is actually left the city with Selene to go up into this wilderness spot that Selene convinced him to go to. This is an interesting scene that we have between Nynaeve and Liandrin, where they are both kind of bonding over loss, even though loss is viewed from a multitude of layers in this sense. Nynaeve is lamenting the loss of her daughter and something she felt that was so real and tangible that she experienced in the Tian Girl. And Liandrin is lamenting the fact that she will outlive her son, which is the burden of Aes Sedai. And she articulates well, I think, to the audience and to Nynaeve that even though men are cursed and the ones that when they use the Source they go insane, and that's kind of their burden, women still have their own burdens in that they will outlive the people that they love, and that is a very sad experience for them. So this was an interesting scene. We then have more of the warders going on in this episode, but we come to see that it's actually a ploy, that they're working with Alana behind the scenes to see what it is that Lan has been hiding, and they find this letter or note, and they are then able to decipher it, but that comes a little bit later in the episode. So the dynamic between Moiraine and her sister is an interesting one because it kind of seems like it's a power struggle initially that used to favor Moiraine. However, now it favors Anvir in that she kind of has everything under control. She also articulates to Moiraine and the audience that her son is going to be marrying the queen's daughter, and it is quite plausible to believe that this is going to be Elaine because she is the only queen that we've heard referenced at this point, and that is the only daughter of the queen that we know of. Nynaeve is told by Liandrin that Loial and Perrin have been captured. She goes to tell Igraine this and gets her to come with her potentially, but let her know that she's going to leave and go to Falma. Elaine, of course, follows them, and then we have a big reveal that Liandrin is in fact a Black Aja. And it seems that it's possible that Liandrin was the Black Aja that we saw in the opening sequence of season 2 at the Dark Council meeting, and that's going to be an interesting play. Ishmael is once again kind of behind the scenes controlling everyone here. We see that he is now meeting with Min, so everyone is being touched by Ishmael in some way, shape, or form. Rand and Selene are chased by an eyeless, and Rand uses the one power to kill the eyeless. Selene is then kind of playing like she doesn't really know what's going on and pretends that she is shocked that he can channel. However, we quickly come to realize that that is not the case. We get this slow reveal by juxtapositioning it back to Alana and her warders when they read out the letter that it is talking about Lanfear, who is, according to them, the most powerful Forsaken. She is then revealed to be Selene in this kind of slow-mo dramatic interlude thing that she's got going on with Rand. It's fine. I don't think it's as dramatic as they necessarily thought it was going to be, but Moiraine shows up and basically stuns Lanfear because she implies that she cannot kill a Forsaken, but Rand is enraged by this until he really knows what's going on, and the episode ends with the blinking of Selene/Lanfear's eyes, so we know that she's not actually dead. Even though this episode was an hour, it felt like only really 10 to 15 minutes of actual plot happened in this episode for me. So I feel slightly frustrated in that we are halfway through a season and a lot of stuff is still not overtly established or established all that well. I am curious to see how they're now going to interact the two released Forsaken, being Lanfear and Ishmael, how they're going to explain that more. It seems that everyone is going to Falma, and how everyone is going to get to Falma is going to be interesting, so hopefully we'll have more of that coming up in the next couple episodes, because I'm thinking Falma is probably going to be the culmination of everything happening in episode 8. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of episode 4 of Wheel of Time, if you liked it, if you're not really liking it so far, if you have any strong feelings, that's fine. If you like videos like this, you can always help me out by liking and subscribing, and as always, I will see you next time for our recap of episode 5, but if you're interested in an in-depth book discussion, tonight at 8 Eastern, I'm going to be having a conversation with Christopher Navo where we get into the nitty-gritty of the differences between the books and the show. Hope to see you then. Bye.